Let's talk with your host, Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, all right here. Oh, simply straight talk.
Let the music play, let the music play. Welcome to the Simply Straight Talk podcast. Today's show is brought to you from Atlanta, Georgia. The topic of the day is, has music lost its originality? Many songs today are made with vocal tuning and sampling from artists of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. As a lyricist and writer of songs, Reggie has some thoughts on this subject. What's on your mind, Reggie?
Hey, Amber, and you are absolutely right. I do have some thoughts on this subject. Now, Amber, you know I love writing music, right? You know I love writing music. So it's going to kind of hurt me to say some things I'm going to say today, but this is Simply Straight Talk. And you know on Simply Straight Talk, we like to tell it like a TI is. And like I said, as always, we can respect each other's opinions. Now, music can be a very hot topic, but today I want to talk about, has music lost its originality? Now, come on. I want you to be really honest with yourself. Now, some of you guys can go back with me on this. Now, I remember a time when we was using 8 tracks to listen to music. So it went from 8 tracks to cassettes, from cassettes to CDs, then from CDs to digital. Now, you know, I love music and I respect everybody in the music business. But as I listen to music, it just comes across to me like some of the originality is gone. Some of the, work and effort that was put into it before, just doesn't quite seem to be there now. And I'm not trying to slam any of the new artists. I'm not trying to say that any of the new artists are not working hard. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I think I just missed some of the originality that went into the music of the old days. Not like some of the new stuff, but to be honest with you, I find myself listening more to the old stuff. Now, when we talk about music, when you go to the 60s, you're talking about the Temptations, Elvis, the Beatles, the Supremes. Then when you jump to the 70s, you're talking about Stevie Wonder, Al Green, the Commodores, Bob Marley, Queen. Then when you jump to the 80s, now you got Michael Jackson, Prince, the Eurythmics, the Police, Survivor, Patti LaBelle. You know what I'm saying? Then you got in the 90s, where you jump to Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, New Edition, Maxwell, Full Force. So it's a lot that's taking place in music. There's been a lot of change in music. And as I sort of gave you a couple names from each era, from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, to me, it was just something about those artists that stood out. And there were other artists besides them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if a lot of y'all probably don't remember if I say the name Barry White, Marvin Gaye, Air Supply. Y'all don't even know who I'm talking about. Y'all might be able to pick one or two, but if you can name them all, holla at your boy. But what I'm saying is, there was something about music that at one point, when you just heard the introduction to a song, it just sent this feeling through you. And you haven't even gotten to the words. You haven't even heard, the whole band and instrumentation come in. The harmony hasn't even kicked in. You basically just heard like 1 or 2 notes. Half of a bar is all you heard. And you are already set to get up out your seat. Your eyes done closed. You done laid back. Because you know what? You love the music, the originality. Because I truly believe that when like the artists I mentioned before, it was just something about them that made them stand out. That you could hear their music without hearing their voice. You knew that they put their stamp on this song. They put their stamp on this music. So when you heard the song, you'd be like, oh, that's Prince. That's Prince. That's New Edition. That's Stevie Wonder. That is definitely Stevie. You know, that's the Temptations. Oh, that's Bob. That's Bob. You know, so it was just something about music back then. And even going up into the 90s, that was a little different. Now, like I said, I am not saying that the artists of today are not doing the best with their music, but I'm just wondering, because of the way things are today, because now let me put it like this. These artists had to work. They had to work. They really had to work at what they did. Because right now, and the thing about music today, digital music kind of kicked up in, I don't want to say the early 90s, like between 90 and 92, the digital platforms of music start coming out. So instead of artists having to release albums, you know, you now could release an EP or a single. You know, you can just put a single out. So it wasn't a bigger investment like it was back for the Temptations, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Patti LaBelle, Whitney Houston, Air Supply, Survivor, Queen, Bon Jovi, Mick Jagger. I mean, when you think about those guys, when they put an album out back then, it was an album. It was an album. So for them, it wasn't about just putting out one song. Now, there was one song they put out before the release of the album, which that song was supposed to set up fans to say, wow, I love this. I'm going to go buy the album. Because the initial release song was saying this is a good album. If you love this song, you're going to love the album. But today's artists are putting out a EP or single, just one song, saying, oh, you're going to love this one song. So it isn't that effort to work hard to produce music. You know, because, you know, like when Michael, back then, artists put out albums. And when they put out albums, it was like, if you got 10 songs on those albums, you're hoping 6 or 7 is good. Because you're trying to sell albums. And, you know, a lot of artists right now are selling one song. And you ever notice how a lot of the songs sound alike? That's why I say it doesn't sound like it's original. And in today's vocal aspects of music, there is so much auto-tuning of voices until it's like, wow, man, does anybody really sing anymore? And then, you know, when you hear about half of the concerts now, people are lip syncing. You know, so where's that pride? Where's that pride in giving your fans something that's going to be spectacular? Because you can tell when an artist has sat down, worked on an album, and said, I want this album to be good. I'm not trying to rush an album out just to say I got an album out. So I'm not going to put out a song, you know, just to buy, you know, have somebody pay $14, $15 for an album, and they only like one song on the album. For those of you who've seen the Temptations movies, or if you heard about Motown, you know, Motown actually had a process for their albums, for their songs, for their artists. You know, it wasn't just make an album. Okay, it all sounds good. Let's put it on the album. Let's get it out. There was a process of voting to determine whether or not a song was good enough to make an album. But then again, in today's day and age, you don't really have a process like that. So it's pretty much up to the artist whether or not they release a song or do with the song or not. And, you know, for some places, they may have a little bit of a chain of a working machine in there to kind of help them determine, like, is this a good song or this a good song? But so many of the songs today are pretty much like, let's take this from James Brown. Let's take this from Michael Jackson. Let's take this from this group. And they kind of put a beat over it, and they got a song, or they come up with a hook. And that's another thing that I don't really like today, because a lot of today's music is based on a hook. It is not based on a true song with lyrics. It's based on Give me a good hook. Give me a hard beat. And you know what? We got it. We got a song. And in my mind, you don't have a song just because you got a nice hook. A hook is good, but that to me is not lyrically powerful. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I feel like music has lost its originality because there are so many shortcuts being taken just to get sales. And it brings me to the next point that I often ask myself, and this is, like I said, this is nothing against the music generation. This is nothing against the artists. But at some point I got to wonder, are the fans today buying images over musical content? Are you really listening to the music and saying, wow, am I getting quality content with this music? Or am I buying this music simply because of the image of the artist? Because that's a difference. Because I hear a lot of rappers out right now, and a lot of the rap songs that come out, and I'm listening to them, I'm like, man, this is the best-selling rap album. This is the best-selling rap single. When I'm like, you got dudes like Willie D. You know what I'm saying? When you hear somebody like Willie D, now Willie D was with the Ghetto Boys. For those of you who don't know who they are, which I don't know how you don't know who the Ghetto Boys are, but it was Willie D, Scarface, and Bushwick Bill, and everybody was fascinated because Bushwick Bill was a midget or dwarf, the proper term, and and all three of these guys could lay it down. All three of these guys could lay it down. And when you hear some of the lyrics from Willie D and Scarface, because I think Willie D wrote most of Bushwick Bill's lyrics, if I'm correct. When you hear Willie D, I just imagine if you took Willie D right now, took some of his songs and just blasted them on the radio and just gave him total national play like some of these other cats are getting, I'm willing to bet that Willie D would outsell them. And I'm serious. I believe you will hear quality content of rap and he will outsell a lot of these artists that are out today. I really believe that because fans will be getting lyrics that are intelligent and deep. You know what I'm saying? These are lyrics that say something to you. When you hear Willie D songs, man, you be sitting there bobbing your head, but also it's going to have you thinking. That's what rap used to be. And it was this unspoken sort of law in rap that if you wrote a couple bad songs, vulgar, whatever, that you had to come out with something good. Because you remember, Houdini always had one positive song on their record. And that's just the way it was back then. But it just seems like now, even with rap, a lot of the originality is lost. A lot of the creativity is lost. So I do believe that fans are buying music based on the image of the artist. This artist is famous. They was on TV. Let me buy their album. This artist was on Love and Hip Hop. Let me buy their album. But are you really getting quality content from the music? Think about it. I remember when you had musicians that was using bands. And I gave rap artists credit at one point because I remember LL Cool J did it once when he actually brought a band in to rap with a band. Now that's being a little different with your creativity. And that's challenging the rapper and the band because you're bringing two different art forms together because rap at one point was all based on a turntable providing the music. So having a band provided live, that's tight. But the thing about it is music has sort of lost its originality, I believe. And I believe that because of technology, because of the ability to release singles and not having to release albums, that they don't have to put out or work hard to create different songs. Because I noticed that some artists seem to find it easier that if they got a hit song, they sort of take traits of that song, make a new song, and just try to do a little something different with it. Speed it up a little bit, slow it down a little bit, add an extra beat here or there, So it's just music is supposed to mean something. Music carries power. It does. It carries power. When you take the melodies, the harmonies, and the beat, then you put lyrics over it that add a voice to the song, oh my God. Music is something that inspires, motivates, and speaks to the soul, whether it's sad, happy, grieving. Music always provides something that lifts the person, that speaks to the person, that moves the person in some way. And I'm just not feeling it with today's music, man. I'm just not feeling it. And as much as I try, I just don't really get into it like that, because it seems like today's music is so simplistic that the creativity and lyricism and the instrumentation is like just done away with. It's done away with. So what can I say? But we're going to come right back and we're going to finish up this conversation.
Free your mind, free your voice right here on Simply Straight Talk.
All right, Simply Straight Talk family. We want to return the love you have shown us back to you. Reggie will be giving away great prizes during certain Simply Straight Talk podcast shows, so make sure you subscribe and listen to the show for your chance to win. Just imagine being able to take 4 people to the movies, a free night in a hotel, a gift card with cash for a restaurant, or one of our Simply Straight Talk podcast shirts. There will be other prizes as well. For more information, visit our website at www.rmviaging.com and click on Simply Straight Talk Podcast in the menu.
We're back with the conversation starter and the voice that works harder. Your host, Reggie.
All right, Simply Straight Talk family, we are back. And today we are talking about, has music lost its originality? I mean, come on now. We all listen to music. We all love music. As we all say, music is the key to the soul, especially when it's done right, played right, and heard in the right environment at the right time. Music can make you feel like you're on top of the world. It can also make you feel like you got a friend in a time of need. But you know what? We're going to do something real quick. I'm going to challenge y'all. I'm challenging you, Simply Straight Talk family. Because I tell you what, this is what I'm going to do right here today on the show. All you got to do is go to the website and subscribe. If you are already a subscriber to the show on the website, then guess what? You already entered in to win. But if you can go to the website and subscribe, but also I tell you what, tell me the name of this song when you subscribe. Shoot me an email on the contact form, and I tell you what, if you can subscribe, you will have a chance to win a $50 gift card. All you got to do is name the song. Know what I'm talking about? If you can know the song, holla at your boy. Girl. Yeah, see, I just gave y'all a little clue. That's enough. That's enough right there. So you should know the song if you heard it. Like I said, go to the website, www.rmbiagem.com. That's www.rmbiagem.com. And subscribe to the show for a chance to win a $50 gift card. All right, now let's get back to the show. Right now, we're talking about, has music lost its originality? And you know what? I'm still going to stick with what I feel. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that music has lost some of its originality. And I'm not just talking about rock and R&B, you know what I'm saying? Even gospel, you know what I'm saying? Even gospel music. At one point, gospel music was not afraid to say God's name. For a while there, gospel music was just all about insinuating that it's talking about God, because a lot of the gospel artists was trying to cross over into the popular mainstream with their music. And that didn't really sit right with me. But, you know, everybody got their choice, how they do things. Like I said, I'm not knocking the new artists for what they're doing, but everybody has to do what's right for them. And I'm just saying, when it comes to music, if you're going to do it right. If you're going to be creative, be creative. Give the fans original quality content. Don't just try to create an image and hope that the fans fall for the image and buy your music that's not giving them, quality. It's not giving them quality. But I tell you what, though, if you are truly looking for music that has more of an original taste outside of the popular mainstream stuff that you always hear on TV, you have got to check out a lot of these indie artists. Now, when I say indie artists, that means independent artists. They're not really with a record deal. They don't really have a record label. And I find that a lot of independent artists are working hard creating their own craft. They really are trying to put their own stamp on their music and in the music industry. Now, on the Simply Straight Talk Twitter account, the RM Viagine, I got so many accounts, man. The RM Viagine account, and I'll post that in below this podcast in the details, goes out of its way to really try. I go out of my way to really try and promote indie artists. Like every 2 or 3 days, I research indie artists, and what I do is I try to actually shoot something out there so people can know who they are. Like, hey, give these guys a listen, give them a shot. And later on, down the weeks, to come with the shows, I am going to have a show that is going to be dedicated strictly towards new indie artists. And these are artists that are in the music industry. It's from all genres: country, pop, rock, soul. And, they work hard for some reason. And when I listen to their music, I really find like, wow, man, like you can hear it when they sing, that they're not just singing. They're singing like survival singing, like, I need this to be a hit. Like, I want this. But they're singing with quality. You know what I mean? It's like they're creating something that they want the fans to enjoy. Their music and their lyrics are speaking to the fans. So that's why I say, if you guys have not gotten into discovering some of these indie artists out there, like I said, a lot of people, when you hear to say indie, they think you're talking about Indian. No. Indie artist is short for independent artist. Okay. So when you're looking at these independent artists, man, you really got to give them a shot. You really got to sit down and listen to them. Some of their vocal skills will actually blow you away. I mean, I'm amazed, man. Like my boy Trey Williams, who does songs, PH King, R&B. Trey Williams is soul, by the way. PH King, man, the boy got it going on. You know what I'm saying? Julie Ludgate, nice voice. This lady is tight. Beautiful voice. So you got to really give these artists a shot, man, and just really listen to them, because sometimes when you step away from the mainstream and what's popular, and then you step back and hear people that's on their grind, like these independent artists, I'm telling you, you're hearing people that's actually putting their heart into the music. You're hearing people that's going back to the basics to create something that's going to be a fan favorite, because they're creating content for fans, not for images. And that is such a big deal, because like I said, you'll be so surprised how many people in the music industry are creating content based on image. It's based on their image. And some people and some artists know that when they reach a certain level that, my image will sell. So I don't have to produce. Now, they may want to produce, but they know their image will sell. And as long as their image is selling, then they're not going to produce quality content. So you got to look for artists that's trying to give you quality content. Now, I'm not knocking that. People, make your money, boo, however y'all want to make money. But my thing is, if you're going to get a fan something, get a fan some real music. Get a fan something that they can appreciate. When you see an artist, you got to think about Prince. You got to think about Prince. Prince was an artist through and through, vocally, and also when it came down to what he did in his musicianship with the instrumentation of his songs. So all of that put together goes out to make quality, excellent content for the fans, because that's what it's about. Now you said, well, Reggie, what about your music? Because I'll be honest with you. I have 150 songs that have been written, and some of them sit in a catalog shelf because I don't feel they're ready. I don't feel that these songs are ready to be put out yet because I don't feel like they're not songs that speak or move. Because if a song doesn't move me, then how is it supposed to move you? If I'm listening to the song like, man, it ain't quite what I want, shelf it. Now, sometimes I go back to the song and revamp it. Then I come back and like, okay, now it goes. Now I feel like this is something we can put out. Me and General Steele, as y'all know, his new name now is Revelation. We did a song called Show Me Love. Now, when I first wrote the song, I was like, man, I'm not feeling it. Then when me and G start talking again, Revelation said, you know what? He put a little something to it. Now the song is tight, man. I love the song. Because, I'm going to tell you something. Revelation got mad skills, man. Mad skills. But that's what I'm talking about. It's about artists recognizing the fact that they're not giving quality content. They're not giving originality. They're giving bits and pieces of something that's only something to sell an image, not to sell true music. Because I'm a firm believer in music. I love music. But I love music enough to know that anything I put out for sale, the fans need to get something out of it too. Hey, we'll be right back with the final thoughts. You guys stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We'll be back with your host, Reggie, on Simply Straight Talk.
Hey, are you looking for some great music, upbeat and with a positive voice? Well, the song I Stand With You is exactly what you need. This timeless song has a pop version sung by Audrey Carmel. And a reggae version sung by General Steele, now known as Revelation.
Now I know some days you may feel blue, Lord. Trust in your greatness to see you through.
These songs are now available on iTunes and other digital platforms for download. Don't miss out. Get your copy today.
Give life your best, and I know.
Are you ready for the straight truth? Reggie, what's the final word for today?
All right, everybody, welcome back. And right now we are about to drop down to the final thoughts of today's show with the discussion, has music lost its originality? Well, you know what? Let me say something. I know I might seem a little hard on some of the new artists that's coming out or that's already been out. So I'm not just talking about people that came out within the past 2 years. I'm actually referring to people that's been out probably for the past 20 years in regards to music losing its originality. Because as you know, when I did my preview earlier, I went from the 60s to 70s to the 80s to the 90s, and I stopped right there because that was the point in which digital music started to come out. And that's the point when I noticed that the quality of music just seemed to change. It just really wasn't the same. It became more about sampling and vocal tuning than it really was about artists giving their best. Now, that doesn't mean I find anything wrong with using digital platforms. I think digital platforms are awesome opportunities. I think they're great, especially for the independent artists who don't have the big record label deals. But I also wanted to let everybody know that there are independent artists out here who are working extremely hard, just as much as the mainstream popular artists. So give those guys a shot. Take a chance and listen to them. You know, if you go to my RMVIGene Twitter account, just type in RMVIGene, RMVIAGEM, and you'll be able to see some of the artists that I have highlighted from the independent artist scene. And music overall is probably one of the most universal languages in the world because everybody understands music, and music brings people together in a way that other things can't. You can have conferences, you can have talk shows, you can do all these other things. But music is something that just brings everybody together, regardless of their race, color, gender. I mean, it doesn't matter. When you have a song that everybody feels they can dance to and relate to, that just speaks volume to the power of music within itself. And then to have an artist who actually knows and understands the importance of giving his best and bringing originality and putting their stamp on a song, whether it be through instrumentation or whether it be through vocals, they are able to do so that the fans are able to identify with the fact that this is somebody who is giving me quality content. This is somebody who's giving me music with full musicianship. That is so important in the music industry. That is so important for having people to keep a valid interest in music, because music says so much. I mean, whether you're sad, there are sad songs that can connect with you, but also uplift you. There are songs for those who feel they've been abused, songs for those who feel they've been heartbroken, songs for those who are happy, songs for those who need spiritual uplifting, songs for those who just need to hear love. That's what music is. Music is about fun. It's about laughter. It's about life. So as an artist, you got to give your best. You got to promote your best. You got to show your best, because the more you give to the fans, the more they give back to you. And the better quality of content you give to the fans, the more they're going to keep investing in you and coming back. If you keep providing fans with the same songs, with the same harmonies, and basically the same instrumentation and music in the background of the vocals, they're going to catch on to that after a while. And then what's going to happen is they're not going to fool with you anymore, because they're going to start saying that your songs all sound alike. Regardless of if you try to speed it up or slow it down or implement pauses inside the record, it's not going to work. You got to give the people quality content, quality music. And fans, you got to support your artists. Support the artists that you believe in. I'm not saying don't support anybody. If you have an artist that you really enjoy and you find that they are inspiring to you, make sure you support them, because they are taking their time to create something for you to listen to and enjoy. And the same thing goes for musicians, artists. Whether you are out there doing it solo or you're out there with the band, keep working hard, keep giving the best that you can give. And also for my independent artists out there, as you guys know, I'm a big supporter of you and what you're doing. Do not stop. Continue to grow and work and be the best at putting out the best music you can put out. Also, you remember earlier in the show, there was a $50 gift card being given out. You can name that tune. So don't forget, subscribe on the website, www.rmviagem.com. Make sure you subscribe so you get a chance to win. Your name is pulled. I'll announce it on the next show. Good luck to you. And don't forget, music is love. Love is music. Keep it riding. Don't ever stop playing. Let the music play.
Thank you for tuning in to today's show. Be sure to subscribe for more motivational topics based on real-life conversations, and don't forget to rate, review, and share our show so we can continue to bring you the best in real-life conversations. Join us next week right here on Simply Straight Talk.
Simply Straight Talk with your host Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, alright here. Oh, Simply Straight Talk.